Hi there, strikers. There's something uniquely disturbing about people vanishing into thin air. Read about these incredibly strange, unsolved cases. Although these disappearances span centuries, locations, age ranges, and circumstances, there's one common thread shared between them: a lack of closure. There are theories, speculations, and investigations, but never a decisive answer. On our incoming episode, I'm going to feature some of the cases of mysterious disappearances of some missing that just disappear without any trace. The mysterious disappearance of Trevor Dealey. A family left heartbroken by the disappearance of a young man 22 years ago said the key to solving the mystery lies in identifying a man caught on CCTV cameras speaking to Trevor Dealey during the last recorded sighting of him. Next Wednesday marks the 21st anniversary of the disappearance of the 22-year-old as he walked home through Dublin city centre, after attending an office Christmas party. Despite an unrelenting campaign by his family and one of the biggest Garda missing person investigations ever mounted, no trace has ever been found of Trevor. Now, his family have again renewed their appeal for anyone with information on what happened to Trevor to contact the Gardaí. Trevor vanished on December 8, 2000, after attending a work Christmas party, briefly returning to his office to collect an umbrella and then walking towards his home through Dublin city centre. Trevor's sister, Michelle, said it has been every family's worst nightmare since Christmas 2000. 21 years is such a long time to be searching with no answers, she said. There have been no developments at all, unfortunately, which is very difficult for us. But our appeal remains the same: we just want to find Trevor. The man at the gates on the CCTV footage has never come forward or been identified. Knowing who he is and what transpired in that short conversation between them could be very helpful. A nationwide Garda appeal for information 4 years ago, on foot of digitally enhanced CCTV security camera footage, failed to deliver the breakthrough the family had hoped for. He returned to the office to collect an umbrella as the evening was quite wet. After having a coffee with a workmate, he left around 30 minutes later and was seen on CCTV footage walking past the Bank of Ireland on Haddington Road. This was at 4:14 am on December 8. Trevor was never seen again. He was reported missing the following Monday when he did not arrive for work as normal. A massive search was launched for Trevor with his father, Michael, placing posters of his son throughout the south inner city area. Gardaí were supported by search volunteers and examined parks, waste ground, building sites and even local canals and the River Dodder. But there wasn't any inkling of what had happened to the young man. In 2010, on the 10th anniversary of his disappearance, Gardaí launched another appeal for information. In 2016, Gardaí established a full cold case review and it was decided to re-examine all the CCTV footage. A specialist UK firm was contracted to digitally enhance some of the images amid indications another individual or individuals may have been in the background behind Trevor. That work revealed a person or persons in 3 different portions of the CCTV footage harvested, one segment of which shows a person, a male in dark-colored clothing, apparently chatting with Trevor. In another, a person appears to be walking behind Trevor as he walks home just after 4 a.m. The Gardaí have never been able to tell us that they think the images on CCTV are of the same man, Michelle said. They explicitly told us that their specialist forensic team could not reach a conclusion on that. They do believe the images from the side and back gates of Byam are of the same man. But not the image at 4:14 on Haddington Road. That is important as that man was the only person on that particular CCTV clip not to come forward. There were others on that clip that have been edited out, and hence he is technically the last known person near Trevor who has not been accounted for. Keeping Trevor's case in the headlines is very important because we know that is our best help of helping the Gardaí to find out what happened that night, Michelle said. Unfortunately, there has been nothing new with the case. But we will keep trying. Not knowing what happened has been very difficult for us as a family over the years. 4 years ago, Gardaí followed up information, with a search of a 3-acre property in Cheapside, at the time describing it as the most significant development in the case for over 15 years. Unfortunately, the 6-week search failed to yield the hoped-for breakthrough. The 6 weeks proved a living nightmare for the Dealey family, and, while the Cheapside dig was the correct course of action given the information obtained, it has now been forensically determined that Trevor was not there and had never been there. It was a complete dead end and there were no follow-on links or leads from it, Michelle said. But we want people to come forward. That is what we have always been actively campaigning for. Crime Stoppers has offered a $100,000 reward, courtesy of an anonymous donor, for any information which leads to solving their mystery of what happened to Trevor. The $100,000 reward remains on offer. Michelle said what was most hurtful for the family, beyond not knowing what happened to Trevor, was having to deal with the theories and wild speculation by armchair experts via the internet. Some of the material in these online chat rooms can really get out of hand, she said. It can be very hurtful and distressing for family members who have to read it or who are then asked about it. After 22 years of agonizing over the whereabouts of missing Trevor Dealey, his distraught family has come forward again to make an appeal for any clue that may solve the mystery of his disappearance. Now his sister Pamela has told a documentary about the family's exhaustive efforts over 2 decades to find him. After intensive searches, police hunts and false leads, the Dealey family is still in the dark over his disappearance in the early hours of December 8, 2000. In an episode of Escanal, to be broadcast on T1 on Tuesday, Ms. Dealey also described her close relationship with her younger brother. He was great fun, very easygoing, good-natured all the time. We had the same taste in music. It was all Oasis and Blur. We hardly ever fought, we got on very well together, she said. A few days before the 22-year-old disappeared, he had returned to their parents' house from a visit to Alaska to see his girlfriend. He was lying on the couch tired with jet lag and Mum made steak to give him energy after coming back, Ms. Dealey said. Then he told me he was meeting up with his pals from NAS that night. I drove him down and he got out of the car, said goodbye, turned his back, and walked up through the car park. That's the last time I ever saw him, she said. I can still remember his whole silhouette. It's so clear in my mind all the time. She said their mother Ann still held out hope he may come back. We thought he might just walk in the front door. Mum even would still say that to this day, she would still hold on to that. Ems Dealey said. I've gone over every single scenario, and none of us know what happened to Trevor. If you know, can you please come forward, give my parents some peace? Mr. Dealey, who grew up in Sea Kildare, with his 2 sisters and brother, was last seen walking home from the Grand Canal area in Dublin city centre. His brother Mark said Trevor remained in his family's minds. We will keep looking for Trevor until we find him. Somebody knows some little thing that happened, he said. 22 years is such a long time to be searching with no answers.